Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. I'm so glad you could join me here today. I have something kind of exciting. I challenged myself. I'm not a fan of 12 by 12 layouts. I think they're beautiful to look at, but I don't do a lot of them. It's a lot of inches to fill up and it intimidates me. But for this project, for Little Birdie Crafts, I used one of their 12 by 12 watercolor canvases, and I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out actually. I'm still learning a lot with mixed media, but I think that's kind of how mixed media goes. But I started with the blank canvas and I spritzed it with Lemon Zing Color Splash. That was the very first thing I did. And then I took Little Birdie white gesso and just kind of brayered it unevenly all over the canvas. And I used their texture paste, their grainy texture paste, and their Mosaic Stencil, and added this texture through here. Then I used another color of Color Splash, Paprika, and you can see the little spritzes of color. This was just really light. I wanted to bring up those autumn hues, the rich rusts and the golds, and like that. So I tore pieces from the Aquarelle paper pack after I'd stenciled it with the Entangled Stencil and Rusty Hinge Distress Ink, and I just tore that and layered it on with matte multimedia and laid down a piece of this wonderful Chevron burlap ribbon, also using the multimedia. And this is a 6x6 card base. I painted the edges with sandstone chalk paint. This is another square of paper from the Aquarelle pack that I distressed and painted the edges. And this is a Little Birdie 4x4 burlap canvas. And I topped this with a digital image that I had in my stash. And I covered just the bumblebee portion. I love bees. So I covered just the bumblebee portion with a little bit of waste paper and then spritzed around that to kind of shadow it in and make it look great. These are Little Birdie burlap tags, and I just layered them behind here, and then I added in all these gorgeous fall flowers. This is Little Birdie Chipboard painted with their black gesso. I wanted it to pop against the yellow. And this is some of their kraft twine that I just kind of scrunched around. I dyed Sisal with the Paprika and the Lemon Zing Color Splash. This is a Little Birdie Chipboard that I painted with black gesso and then spritzed with, again, the Color Splash. This is an old piece of junk jewelry that I had in my stash. I've been hanging on to it forever. It's got all these cool dangly pieces down here, and I thought it would look so neat with this Dreamcatcher chipboard. So I added that in on top of the bed of Sisal. And then all these gorgeous Little Birdie flowers in the Grape Tan and fall color assortments. Man, I love these colors. These are like my colors. I just love them. Then some feathers from my stash I just tucked in. Fern foliage from Little Birdie, these wonderful coiled wires, little pollen clusters. Over here, the same thing, little pollen clusters. And it all just kind of came together. Oh, and I sprinkled it with mica. And I'll have a list of all the supplies that I used. Look at these allium foliage. Can you see those? Is that not the most gorgeous thing ever? I just love those. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me, and let's see how this canvas came together. Okay, so let's get started on this 12 by 12 canvas. 12 by 12 is kind of something I don't do a whole lot of, but I think it's going to be fun. So let's have a go. I've sprayed it a light layer of Lemon Zing Color Splash. And now I want to use my brayer to add some white gesso. And I'm just going to drizzle this kind of randomly, like that. And then I want to come in with my brayer. And I'm just going to spread it around. have to apologize. I was working along and my camera went dead, and I didn't realize it. So I'm back to explain what I did, because obviously I can't pull it up and redo it. I put down one of the 6x6 kraft card bases, and I brushed the edges with sandstone chalk ink. And in between that layer, these are the little Birdie burlap tags, and I backed those with chipboard and stacked these over on the side so that the tassels hang down the side like this. Then this is also the Aquarelle paper. This is the Chevron, and I just cut this to fit the 6x6 card base. I spritzed it with some of this Paprika color splash, painted the edges, added chipboard to the back, and then adhered that. This is a little Birdie 4x4 burlap panel, and I just hot glued that directly in the center of the chevron. And this bee is a digital image that I found online, and I just cut this out, backed it with chipboard, covered it a little bit with some chipboard, then spritzed it with paprika. So this is where we're at. So this is little Birdie chipboard, and I have painted it with black gesso, and we're just going to play around, see where things are going to get positioned, and I have an idea of where this is going, but I'm not 100% sure. So hang in there with me and we'll finish off this canvas. This is Sisal that I colored with the paprika and the lemon Zing color splash. This is an old jewelry piece that I picked up at an estate sale. I've been waiting to use it on just the right project, and I think it would be beautiful in with all these feathers and stuff on my dream catcher, so I'm going to put that there. And now we're going to build the flower arrangement. I have little Birdie Esme in Vintaj, and Buttercup Grape Tan. I have these wonderful Allium, brown Allium, and then Carmela Grape Tan, and Beaded Fancies, and Paulina, and English Roses, and then some little foliage pieces. These are pollen and tendrils, and then some ferns. These guys I love. I forget what they're called, and the name is not on the package. Pollen Cluster. So we'll just see what happens. Let's play. Okay, and I brought a few feathers in from my stash. We'll see what we do with these. I've shared some tips, tricks, and ideas that you can use in your own crafty adventures. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear from you in the comments section below. I do respond to every single comment I receive. And if you haven't subscribed to my blog yet, I'd love to have you join me for the journey. Thanks so much, and I'm going to go get my craft on. Bye.